In 1995, as a sportscaster in Mississippi, I was covering my first SEC football media days when I asked Ole Miss head football coach at the time, Tommy Tuberville, for an interview. And Tuberville was kind enough to leave the coaches' party that was going on. All the SEC football coaches plus their families were having a big shindig down the street, and Tuberville was nice enough, didn't know me at the time, but was nice enough to accept the offer, come down the street, and go on live during our 6 o'clock newscast. Over the next 4 football seasons, Tommy Tuberville was great to us. He certainly was always accommodating, always friendly, always accepted an interview, allowed us to shoot his football practices, allowed us on the field to interview himself and players, sometimes just after practice in an impromptu setting. Didn't have to be scheduled. During National Signing Day, which of course is pressure-packed for football coaches, especially in the SEC, Tuberville would allow us in his office, and we would do a live sportscast right in his office, talking about the recruits, the ones he missed, the ones he signed during National Signing Day. Tuberville moved on to Auburn, a very controversial move in which he made some statements that let it be known that he would always stay at Ole Miss as head football coach. That didn't necessarily endear him to the football fans in Mississippi, but he moved on to Auburn and, of course, had a successful run there, including an undefeated season in 2004, SEC contention almost every season, and actually it's very tough to imagine right now that Auburn under Tommy Tuberville defeated Alabama 6 consecutive seasons. Well, on Saturday, Tommy Tuberville did something that was pretty embarrassing, something that he should be ashamed of, something he's apologized for, but I don't necessarily know if he's come clean on. During a game, Texas Tech versus Kansas, Tommy Tuberville was caught on the sideline taking a swipe, a slap, at a graduate assistant, Kevin Oliver, in which he knocked the headset off of Oliver's head. Now, he didn't make contact with Oliver. That's been reported that he slapped him, that he hit him. I think it's pretty evident from the videotape that nothing like that happened, that Tuberville simply got angered on the sideline for a 12th man penalty being called against Texas Tech, which took them out of a 4th and 2 situation in which they were going for it. They were only up on Kansas 21-17, a game in which Tech was heavily favored and just up by 4 points. So we know what a football sideline's like. A lot of pressure, a lot of intensity, high pressure to win, a lot of competitive people. So there is yelling and screaming on the high school, college, and NFL sideline. I think we expect that. On the other hand, the actions by Tommy Tuberville, not really in line with what we should see on the sideline. But at the same time, those could be maybe allowed to a certain extent. But the comments that followed, really, Tommy Tuberville should have come clean, should have really owned up to the situation. He did not. Afterward, he said that he was simply reaching out to draw back his graduate assistant, grab him by the shoulder, and bring him back toward the sideline to talk to him. That was definitely not the case. You watch the videotape, he was angered, his hands were flying, and he made a motion toward Oliver's face and knocked the headset off his head. I don't believe Tommy Tuberville should be reprimanded for this. The Big 12 commissioner said that he was going to keep a close eye on the situation. I certainly feel as though I would hope that Tommy Tuberville's boss, the athletic director there at Texas Tech, is going to have a conversation with him and let him know that that type of behavior, and certainly lying about it, when that lie can easily be uncovered by videotape, is not the way to run a football program. So those are my thoughts on the Tommy Tuberville situation there at Texas Tech and the incident last Saturday against Kansas. I would love to hear what you have to say about Tommy Tuberville and similar incidents. Mike Leach had one at Washington State this week. Going on around college football concerning coaches and their treatment of players. Would love, again, to hear what you have to say on Mark Rogers TV.